Men of Reddit, what is the nicest compliment you've ever received from a girl? I'll get the ball rolling. I have medium length hair for a guy, about maybe to the base of my neck at a push. A girl who was standing behind me said, how does he have better hair than me? Under her breath. That made me smile a lot. Shoulder flipped it around casually while giving her a blue steel look over your shoulder and just said, fabulousness comes naturally. Oh, never mind. He's gay. Fierce, sister. Just fierce and feisty. You're the type of guy I wish my son grows up to be. I was singing in my car one day and didn't notice these two girls pull up next to me at a stoplight. One of them got my attention and told me I had a wonderful voice. Felt good. Did you break it to them that it was a lip sync? You're cute. In a way you also say to a pet, not in the way of being a cute guy. My wife agreed to marry me. My wife agreed to marry me. How long had she been your wife before agreeing to marry you? And congratulations. You deserve to be happier than you are. Tied between two weird ones. You have beautiful eyebrows. And apparently I have a sexy back. Edit. I'm definitely not Justin Timberlake. You're like a dad in a good way. You dress all cute and shit. And you're hot. Made me giggle. Two stories. One in college, I was in the dorm lounge with a group of around 15 people all telling stories. etc. when the girl next to me says, you're so innocent. I cracked a self-deprecating joke about it, but then she leans in and whispers, no, like fresh meat, then bites my earlobe. 2. One time I was sitting in my car at a stoplight and an older black lady in the next car over leans out and says, damn, you sexy for a white boy. I was queuing at Chipotle, waiting for my turn during lunch rush. The workers are in their groove. They're trying their hardest to make the lunch rush line disappear, so they aren't looking up as often as they might if they weren't so busy. I get to the second stage of operation where they ask what sauce you want, and most people pick one of the three, but I don't like hot sauce, and I don't like pico de gallo. I tell her no, that's okay, just corn, cheese and guac please. It was unexpected enough in her rhythm that it caused her to focus on me to better understand. And when our eyes met, she dropped the spoon into the pico and screamed, Jesus Christ, your eyes are fucking beautiful, and then slaps her hand over her mouth like she couldn't believe that just slipped out. And she apologized. It was honestly the warmest I've ever felt, and usually I don't know how to take a compliment. You probably the coolest guy I know. Man, I love my mom. I don't know if you could call it a compliment, but my girlfriend's mom asked if they should start clearing out a room so I can live with them after about 2 weeks of being together. As a joke, of course. It's nice being loved by someone, but being loved by their parents is great too. This is also how you low-key tell someone they've been at your house too much. My girlfriend's family said I was part of the furniture and was welcome anytime. Feels good to know they all like me. One of the starters on the varsity women's soccer team told me I had nice cars. My girlfriend doesn't want kids, can't stand the idea of carrying a child or having that lifestyle, which I respect. I don't particularly want children either, but have dabbled with the thought, and if she would ever change her mind, I probably would too. One day she told me the only reason I would ever consider having a child would be to make more of you. By far the nicest thing anybody has ever said to me. One time I was waiting in line for something and wearing interestingly tight sweatpants. A girl looked at me and said, thick, username checks out. I love you so much, you're like a brother to me. RIP fallen soldier. To give you some background, I had just gone through a messy breakup with my ex-wife who ended up cheating on me. It was still fairly fresh at this point. I ended up getting invited to a friend's birthday and jumped on the invite knowing he usually invites one of my favorite girl co-workers for a job the three of us used to share. She is amazing. Anyway, she shows up to the party. It's with a boyfriend. No. Introduces me to said boyfriend as this guy is a shit. Instant cloud 9. Made my month. We are coming up on our 2-year dating anniversary in May. One time I was just walking home from school and there were these kind of annoying kids behind me, and it wasn't my normal route, so they said something like, yo, who TF it this kid, and I turned around a bit and one of the girls was just like, oh wow, he got beautiful eyes though, and I think about that a lot. Error 404. Compliment not found. My mom said I'm really handsome and I'll pull in all the ladies. First week of college, Drunk upper class lady smacks my ass and when I turn around she told me that I look like the guy from Footloose and great eye candy for being a freshman. Been gritting that for about 4 years now. I love how you make me laugh. Slowly turning the valve open on a bottle of nitrous oxide. I've been told many times I have a great face for radio. You have a voice for deaf people too and don't you forget it. Had a girl my junior year of high school. One day the teacher puts 5 of us in a group and we are sitting opposite end and she just blurts out that I have the nicest smile she has seen. I was super shy as a kid but that gave me so much confidence and made me really think I wasn't all that ugly. Your first sentence made me think that you gave birth to a girl. 9th grade wearing my ROTC uniform like some sort of nerdy failure. Cute girl looks me up and down and says, "You have a really cute butt." I'm 30 now. I will never forget. My grandma told me I was the most handsome boy in the world. Also, and I'm 100% serious on this one, a girl with Down syndrome walked into a bowling alley in a group. She saw me and walked towards me as I was playing in the arcade. DDR. She stood next to me and said loudly, "He's cute." I dated a girl with a mental illness. It wasn't schizophrenia, but some other thing where her brain would constantly tell her the people around her could read her thoughts and were plotting against her. I know that sounds like schizophrenia, but she was diagnosed and receiving treatment for something I forget the name of. Anyway, we were cuddling in bed one night when she turned to me and said, "When I'm with you, I don't need to convince myself that voice is not real." I tell it to shut up, and it's gone. Of all the things any partner has ever said to me, this one will probably stick with me forever. As a female with mental health issues, that was touching and beautiful. TY for sharing. Username checks out. We were talking about going bald and she said that I could pull it off because I have a symmetrical face. Strangely wholesome. 2 days later Steve came in wearing a toupee and doing that half smile he does. Heard 2 girls discreetly talking about how good my butt looked while they were walking down the sidewalk behind me. I guess they figured I couldn't hear what they were saying, but after 30 seconds of them going on about it, I thought it would be funny to embellish my walk and start really putting my hips into it. They instantly started laughing their asses off. The best compliment I ever got was by accident. I was walking along the street with my friend when a young boy and his mother overtook us, and the boy was dumbstruck by me and was practically walking backwards to stare at me. I was used to it and tried to ignore it. I have dwarfism, making me 4 feet tall and my limbs disproportionate to my body. It also affects how I walk. The staring is just part of my life. Except my friend was absolutely baffled. She asked, "What the hell is that kid's problem?" I laughed, thinking she was just trying to be nice and make me feel better, but I realized by the look on her face that she genuinely didn't understand what the boy was staring at. I hesitated and said, "Well, you know," gesturing to myself. She frowned at me for a couple more microseconds before suddenly looking incredibly embarrassed. "Oh, I'm sorry, I totally forgot." Seeing her genuine revelation made me so happy. I just started laughing. It felt amazing to know that she 100% saw me as normal and couldn't think why someone would find me strange. I couldn't stop smiling for the rest of the day. She just felt embarrassed. My mom says I'm a nice man and anyone would be lucky to have me. My mom told me I was popular once and I'm starting to believe her. My mom says I'm cool. I don't think girls realize how handsome my mom says I am. Maybe not exactly what you asked for, but it technically fits so. Last year I met a very nice lady while playing video games. She was a fair bit older than me, like around 50. I'm 17. She is honestly the kindest person I have ever met. We started talking more about some personal stuff and became really close. She told me about her 4 kids and her struggles to pay the bills, and I told her about my mental health issues. Turns out she suffered through much of the same things that I'm struggling with. We try to help and support each other as much as we can. Well, recently she told me that she cares about me like one of her own boys. I think about that a lot. It really hit me hard. I was once called a hunk by a lesbian. 20 plus years later I'm still trying to work that one out. I may not be sexually attracted to you, but you're still attractive. Big win. You have an amazing body and jawline. For someone who's been fat for most of his life and struggled with body image issues, this was one of the nicest things she could have said. I had a girl message me the day after hanging out last week that asked me what my skincare regimen was. She claimed my skin was glowing and so plump and flawless. She insisted on knowing what products I used. I was flattered to know she picked that up, even though I don't do anything special. Edit. People messaging me about my skincare routine. Seriously nothing. I drink a couple liters of water each day. Work out after work and sit in the steam room for 10 minutes after that. Maybe the water and sweat combo. I don't know. Seriously nothing special. Edit 2. I moisturize the St. Ives body lotion with cranberry. Literally bought it because it smelled nice. People think I'm out here smearing caviar on my face or some shit. Her skin's so plump BB. Plump boy. Early on in our relationship my now wife told me that she usually didn't sleep well, except when I was there, and then she fell asleep easily, which is especially impressive at the time given we were cramming me, 6, 3, and her, 5, 11, into a standard twin bed. Dopamine and serotonin are hella drugs. Where can I get some? Meat swampletics. Sometimes I make food that my wife requests. I'm nowhere near as good a cook as she is, but I can make sure the cheese is grilled. Sometimes after I make her something she asked for, she'll text me saying that it tastes just like her deceased grandmother had made it. For someone who can't really cook, that's one of the best compliments she gives me. She'll text me saying that it tastes just like her deceased grandmother. I read that as the end of the sentence. Was about to tell you that's definitely not a compliment. Congrats on your delicious grilled cheeses. Yeah, we were out of pepper so I used your grandmother's ashes. I'm glad you noticed. Home cooking really brings families together. You have been visited by the smart studying doggo. You'll be blessed with good grades only if you subscribe to Comment Awards and like the video.
PG!
On top, food chain, won't stop, new game, hot box that blue haze, one lock, 2 chains, no bras, 2 babes, mic drop, new stage, lights in my rear view, 5 cops, food race, faster than a Tesla, they say I'm exhausted, looking for success, like I'm crazy and lost it, higher than a jet, guess my weed is a rocket, the comments that my vids get are wild.